I think the thing I appreciate about Sophie more than anything is, like, she's never intimidated in the moment. Like, she rises to the occasion every single time. You know, she's going to have her teammates back.
I love how butt hurt people are about this. It's delicious. Agreed. That shit's going straight to Walmart for $19.99. I bet she sells a shit ton of these shoes. I mean, seriously. What the fuck did she do to earn a shoe? They are so mad. They are so mad.
And it literally, like, pisses me off when people are like, she's not the face of the league.
Who would be?
What?
Sabrina? No.
No, there's really good, well-known people in our league. I'm not discrediting them. Like, we have a lot of badasses in our league.
Yeah.
Like, hell yeah to that. I'm all for that. But when people try to argue that she's not the face of our league, or if our league would be where we're at without her, you're dumb as shit.
Yeah.
You're literally dumb as
Caitlin Clark just did something that has half of WNBA Twitter cheering and the other half absolutely fuming. She publicly praised Sophie Cunningham's brand new signature Adidas shoe, the one dropping July 24th, and she did not just praise it quietly. She promoted it on camera with her whole chest. And within minutes, the reaction split the internet right down the middle, with one side celebrating a genuine teammate moment and the other side acting like Clark had committed some kind of basketball crime.
Sophie Cunningham figured it out. She figured out how to play the game the right way, how to play the media, capitalize on the Caitlin Clark fandom and use it to her favor. She's one of the few people that do it. Like, are y'all going to come here for Caitlin? Guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to maximize my opportunity, and the eyes that is on her, I'm going to get some of those eyes on me. This young lady has a shoe coming out. She's a role player. Never averaged more than 12 points in her career. She averaged 9 points now. She has a shoe coming out. A shoe with Adidas. Y'all not grasping what I'm saying? This young lady was just at UFC Saturday, walking around the ring with a scorecard. Like, this with Dana White. Like, she's maximizing her stardom as a role player. Because she's not one of the people that are like, oh, Caitlin Clark, let me hate her. Let me do this now. Or let me go against the grain. Like, let me not. Like, I know these eyes are coming, but I'm going to do everything I can to negate the great possibilities that come with it. Smart. She's on podcasts. She's on news channels. She's doing interviews. She has the number 1, number 2 in jersey sales with Caitlin Clark. Smart. Stop fighting it. Why would you fight something that's going to put money in your pockets to feed?
Sophie Cunningham gets her own player-exclusive Adidas Crazy Energy colorway, dropping July 24th for $120, and instead of letting her handle her own promo quietly, Caitlin Clark jumped in with both feet. Here is the thing about Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham. These two are not just teammates who tolerate each other for the cameras. Clark has said more than once that Cunningham is one of the people on that Fever roster she trusts most. The one who has her back on the court, no questions asked, no hesitation, no excuses.
The role player for the Fever is getting her own signature shoe. For some info, it will be released on July the 24th. It is going to cost $120.
So when Cunningham's shoe deal became official, Clark did not sit on the sidelines and offer some polite, generic congratulations, post like athletes usually do. She got loud about it. Genuinely loud. And that is exactly what set off the next 48 hours of internet chaos.
Sorry. She forgets I have a broken shit. No, this is so. She's fresh out of bed. No, this is so.
Understand why this moment hits the way it does. You need to understand the relationship first. Clark and Cunningham became close fast after Cunningham moved to Indiana in 2024. Clark was a rookie getting hammered with hard fouls and dirty plays almost every single night, and the league was slow to protect her the way rookies with that kind of target on their back usually get protected. Cunningham was the veteran who stepped in and made it clear nobody was going to just take shots at her teammate for free. No warning, no hesitation. She just showed up every time something happened. That protectiveness turned into a real friendship, the kind that gets built through actual conflict rather than staged photo ops.
You made headlines all over the world a few months ago. We've got a photo of it here with this moment. It's so great.
And it turned into something bigger this past June when Cunningham stood up for Clark during the Dewana Bonner incident and pointed at her for 22 straight seconds until staff had to walk her off the court. That clip went everywhere. It reached corners of the internet that have never once cared about women's basketball. And Clark has said publicly more than once that she will never forget Cunningham standing up for her like that in front of a full arena and a national broadcast.
Upset that she got her own shoe. But you guys gotta realize this is just a PE. It is not an entire sneaker. And I think that's what's upsetting people because they think she just got her own shoe. Now, don't get me wrong. She's been balling and I feel like the whole finger pointing thing has made her iconic. I think a PE is fine. And for a low top basketball sneaker, I think this is pretty dope. I love the shades of pink on here. And I love how the tongue and the lining are like a tannish off-white color. And this is also what the back is looking like. You got the Adidas logo on the tongue and on the back, so you know it's an Adidas basketball shoe. And I hear this.
When Adidas announced Cunningham was getting her own player-exclusive colorway, a pink to white gradient Crazy Energy with light blue mesh and orange midsole accents, dropping at $120, Clark's reaction was not surprise. It was pride. Real, visible pride. She has watched Cunningham build this relationship with Adidas since 2022, watched her wear the brand at every appearance, watched her grind through years as a solid rotation piece before she ever got this kind of spotlight thrown her way. Clark knows exactly how much unglamorous work sat underneath this moment, and that is part of why her reaction was not casual.
I think the thing I appreciate about Sophie more than anything is like, she's never intimidated in the moment. Like, she rises to the occasion every single time. You know, she's going to have her teammates back. She loves when, you know, when our backs are against the wall, she's going to be one that has the loudest voice, and she's going to be out there fighting and scrapping. And no matter what situation it is, whether we're down 20, we're up 20, it's the same Sophie. And, you know, every single team in this league would probably kill to have a player like that. So really fortunate that she's on our side. And, you know, Sophie's just a really cool person. Like, she's a good soul, but when she steps on the floor, like, she's fierce, she's fiery, and she's going to do anything to help our team win. So I really appreciate that about her.
And that is where the promoting comes in. Clark did not just say a quick, nice sentence and move on to the next question. She talked about how excited she was for Cunningham, called the design So Her, and told fans directly to go check it out the moment it drops on July 24th. She has reposted content about the shoe on her own platforms, which for someone with Clark's follower count is not a small favor. She has talked it up in interviews unprompted, brought it up herself instead of waiting to be asked. For someone with Clark's reach, someone who moves merchandise numbers other athletes in this league can only dream about, this is not a small gesture, and everyone paying attention knows it. This is Caitlin Clark using her platform, her actual commercial weight, the thing every brand on the planet is trying to buy a piece of right now, to make sure her teammate's shoe sells out. That is not something superstars usually do. Usually, the biggest name on the team stays in their own lane, protects their own brand, keeps their endorsements separate from everyone else's business. Clark chose not to. She chose to blur that line on purpose, publicly, repeatedly, because she genuinely wants to see her friends succeed.
What's the big deal about Sophie getting her shoe? Just capitalism. If you don't like it, don't buy it. It's as simple as that. They think that enough Sophie fans will buy the shoe. If you don't, if there's no real such thing as like, oh, they earned it. Well, then prove that she hasn't earned it by not buying the shoe. We don't have to buy things that are put out there. There's a lot of weird stuff out there with people's names on it. I don't know why you're getting mad about her shoe. Don't buy it.
Now, here is where it gets messy. Because the second word got out that Clark was actively promoting this shoe, a certain corner of the internet did not take it well. Not even a little. Comments started flying, calling the whole thing forced, calling it a marketing stunt, saying Cunningham does not deserve a shoe and Clark is only hyping it up because they happen to be friends. Some people went further and said the shoe was going to flop regardless of how much Clark pushes it, like her involvement changes nothing about the outcome. You have seen these comments before. They follow the same script every single time. It won't sell. Nobody is buying an 8-point scorer's shoe. This is just favoritism between friends. The volume was loud, and it only kept climbing the more Clark kept talking about it, which tells you something about who this whole thing is really bothering.
Sophie Cunningham, nose right here. I mean, there's a little game within the game.
And it was not only random fans typing from the sidelines. A handful of players and their supporters got in on it too, tossing out comments that were dressed up as basketball opinions, but were really just irritation that Cunningham and Clark keep getting attention. Other players feel they deserve more. Some of it was framed around stats, the same tired scoring average argument recycled over and over. Some of it was framed around, there are better players who should have gotten this deal, a claim that always seems to name the same handful of players every single time. But strip away the wording and what is left is pretty simple. People are annoyed that Clark is out here happily boosting a teammate's shoe while other players with longer resumes have never gotten this kind of spotlight from anyone, let alone the biggest name in the league. That frustration is real. It is just aimed at the wrong target.
What the fuck did she do to earn a shoe? They are so mad. They are so mad. They're charging $120 for a role player. I see why Adidas is always coming in last place. I mean, look. In this league, let's be real. The number one trending female athlete last year on Google was Sophie Cunningham. On Google. And that was before the viral meme that took over the planet for 10 days straight.
Is what the haters keep skipping over. Cunningham is not just some random name Clark picked to promote out of blind loyalty. She earned this attention the hard way. Through a moment that reached corners of the internet, WNBA highlights almost never reach on their own. When she stood her ground against DeWanna Bonner and kept pointing for 22 seconds straight, refusing to back down even as staff moved in, that clip did not just circulate among basketball fans watching League Pass. It reached wrestling accounts, political commentary pages, meme accounts with zero interest in women's basketball, people who could not have named a single WNBA player a week earlier. By the end of 2025, Google's year in search list had her at number 7 among all athletes in the entire country, the only woman in that top 10, ahead of Clark herself in raw search volume. That is not manufactured hype from a PR team. That is real, organic, cultural reach, and it is exactly the kind of reach shoe companies build player exclusives around, not just points per game.
These are her PE colorways coming out with Adidas. Oh my God, Sophie Cunningham, man, just keeps getting better and better by the day, man. I hope these are for men as well, man, because I would like to cop these, man. These are hella dope. Very Sophie type of shoes, man. Like, I don't know. I just look at these and I just see Sophie just all over them, man. These are perfect. And it's funny for all the haters. They're like, oh, why are you giving Sophie a shoe? But these same people think someone deserves a shoe that shoots 40% on layups. But Sophie doesn't deserve a shoe when she be cashing threes and can make layups, man.
So when Clark says she is thrilled for her friend and pushes people toward the shoe, she is not pushing a bad product either, and that matters. The shoe itself looks genuinely sharp, hot pink fading to white with those light blue mesh panels and orange midsole hits, loud and confident in exactly the way Cunningham plays every single game. It retails for $120 starting July 24th, and it marks the first WNBA player exclusive Adidas has put out since Candace Parker, which is not a small detail either. That is a real signal about how the brand actually views her long term, not just as a favor or a one-off marketing bump. Clark knows that history, and it is probably part of why she is pushing so hard for it to sell out, because she genuinely believes the shoe deserves the attention on its own merits.
Built a reputation as one of the toughest, most competitive players in the WNBA. She plays with confidence, isn't afraid of the big moment, and has become a fan favorite because she brings energy every time she steps on the floor. Now Adidas is recognizing that with her own signature colorway. Whether you're a Sophie fan or not, this is just another sign that WNBA players are becoming bigger stars off the court as well as on it. More brands are investing in women's basketball, and that's a win for the entire league.
And on the other side of all this noise, there is a massive wave of fans doing exactly the opposite of the haters. They are hyped, genuinely excited, counting down to July 24th like it is a concert ticket drop. They have seen Clark's posts, they have seen the shoe up close in the reveal photos, and they are already talking about buying pairs the second the site goes live at midnight. The Fever fan base, and specifically the Clark fan base that Clark herself is now actively pointing toward this shoe, is one of the most commercially aggressive fan groups in the entire league right now. Full stop. These are the people who sold out arenas across the country just to watch Clark play road games in cities that had never sold a WNBA ticket in years. If Clark tells them to go support Cunningham, a meaningful chunk of them are going to listen without a second thought, and that alone puts serious pressure on that "it won't sell" narrative floating around online.
This is privilege they talk about, because there ain't no way this role player got a shoe and being called a star. Yeah, she's literally the second most popular player in the league. Let's just keep it real. We try to, they try to act like Asia's an angel, and no, it's Sophie Cunningham. It doesn't hurt to be hot and blonde, too. I mean, just smoking hot and blonde. Yeah, that's a thing.
Because that is really what this whole situation boils down to. Caitlin Clark is not confused about who has her back, and she is not shy about saying it out loud, even when it means putting her own name behind a teammate's business deal in a way most superstars never bother to do for anyone. The haters can keep insisting the shoe is going to flop. They can keep writing paragraphs about how undeserving Cunningham is, keep pulling up her scoring average like it settles anything at all, keep pretending this is all forced marketing between two friends who happen to play on the same team. None of that changes what is actually happening in real time. A shoe with real design, real cultural momentum, and now the loudest endorsement in women's basketball behind it is dropping July 24th. And if you have watched anything Sophie Cunningham has done over the last year, you already know exactly how she is going to respond to every single person betting against her right now.
Because companies are in business to make money. And Sophie Cunningham is the face currently of the WNBA because she's smarter than you. She's smarter than all of you. She understands what she looks like. And if that's being white, blonde, and attractive, tough. That's what she looks like. That's what God gave her. She's worked on her body. She's a pro basketball player that understands modern social media. You idiots, you jealous little girls, she has a shoe because she is beautiful.
She is going to let them talk. She is going to let the shoe speak for itself once the numbers start rolling in. And she is probably going to point at every last one of them once the sellout numbers land. The same way she pointed at that whole arena in Phoenix. The same way she has handled every single moment of doubt thrown her way this entire season. So no, this is not favoritism, and it is not forced marketing dressed up as friendship. It is one teammate showing up for another in public, at full volume, in a league where that kind of thing almost never happens between two players this famous and this scrutinized. Caitlin Clark believes in what Sophie Cunningham built over years of grinding through a role nobody noticed, and she is not pretending otherwise just to keep the comment section comfortable or avoid a little backlash. The shoe drops in a few days. The comment sections are already picking sides, digging in, waiting to see who gets to say "I told you so." And Cunningham, as usual, looks completely unbothered by any of it, going about her business like the noise was never even there to begin with.